Hello, everyone. I'm Shannon Mouton Gray, Managing Director at McKinney & Associates, and welcome to this month's Tips in 20 webinar, the 7 tips to helping you become the marketer you want to be. Now, some of you may be having just a wee bit of deja vu, and that's okay. We had some technical difficulties yesterday, so we're doing a redo, hence why you're seeing me again and we're doing the webinar again. Good news though, got my hair done, so I look much better. So we're gonna go ahead and get started, okay, everyone? As always, hi. As always, McKinney & Associates likes to do these webinars on a monthly basis so we can help you do and be the person you want to be professionally. And so there it is. And I do want to give a shout out to Cedric, my producer. Hey, Cedric.
Morning.
And so we're going to go ahead and get started. Again, talking about the 7 tips to becoming the marketer you want to be. Marketing is about perspective, the perspective of the leadership or C-suite of your organization, the perspective of potential and current clients or customers, and finally, the perspective of you and your team. Marketing is a fine balancing act, again, considering everyone's perspective. When you think about the results or the success of your efforts, they're going to be measured by how well you manage everyone's expectations and are able to balance the competing goals, objectives, priorities, and all those egos. These 7 tips can help you maintain that ever so delicate balance. Now, before I begin, y'all know how I like to roll. I'm starting with the definition to make sure we're all on the same page. For today, we're going to focus on marketing as the business of promoting products or services. And again, for our talk today, it's marketing is the business of promoting products and services. So now let me get this out of the way really quick so everyone's clear. There is no such thing. It does not exist there's no such thing as a universal marketing silver bullet, panacea, or one-size-fits-all gimmick. It does not exist. There are no unicorns in marketing, folks. So let's get going with number 1. First, think. Use that lump that's sitting on your shoulders and think. Take time to consider what the goals and objectives of the marketing campaign are. These are the what's, the outcomes, the results. The goals and objectives are the answer to the question, so what does success of this campaign look like? Now, that being said, you will usually have competing goals and objectives. Remember when I talk about perspective and the balancing act? This is really where it comes into play with your goals and objectives. What you want to do as the marketing lead is you want to focus on aligning the goals and objectives that the C-suite has, that you and your team have, and that the customers have. Get that alignment and try and get some consensus. Now, the best way to build that said consensus is to be crystal clear about everyone's goal. And that happens through active listening. Shh. Listen. What are your customers saying? What is your audience saying? What are your colleagues saying? What is your team saying? What are your competitors saying? How have they done in the marketplace? You really want to listen to what's being said. Now, a good way to get some of these answers out, to actually hear what's being said, is to ask questions. And it's okay. In fact, it's your responsibility to ask questions. Why are we doing this, that, or the other thing? Are we sure this is what our clients and customers really think and feel? Are we providing them the best products and services that they need? Not what we think they need, but what they really want and are getting for their money? Will this product really give us the return on investment that the C-suite is expecting? Again, there's nothing wrong with asking questions. The more questions you ask, the clearer the goals and objectives become, and that helps you align everyone, all the competing egos in the room. Now, if goals and objectives are the what success looks like, then your strategy is key to the how to get to the success. Think of strategy as a Monopoly board, something we've all played. I used to use a chess slide, but I don't play chess, so I switched to Monopoly. So think about Monopoly. The goals and objectives are to get properties, get all the money, and win the game. The strategy is how you're going to do that. How do you get all the money? How do you get the properties? How do you win the game? Is it really about amassing as many properties as you can, or is it about amassing the right properties with the right assets? Can a house on Boardwalk be as advantageous as, say, a house on Marvin's Gardens or a hotel on Pacific Avenue? Again, this is where strategy comes into play. Now, you all know I am the what? Planning queen. I'm about planning to plan, then double checking to make sure the plan aligns with the plan that I thought I was going to have when I started my initial planning. It's all about the planning for me. And let me tell you this, folks, there is nothing that exists if it isn't written down. The strategies, ideas, plans, timelines, budgets, goals, it doesn't exist until it's written down and in some sort of tangible form. You want to get things out of your head and onto paper. That's what makes them real. That's what gives them life. How many times have you been at a brainstorming session or at lunch talking to colleagues and you've got great ideas? Ideas are popping and flowing. Things are, synapses are jumping off and firing. And then you get back to your desk and you start working. Nothing was captured in any sort of tangible form. It wasn't recorded, it wasn't written down. A picture wasn't taken of the whiteboard, and it's just gone into the ether. Well, it was a great session. Things were popping and jumping and snapping, and then nothing. I suggest you keep a notebook with you, jot stuff down as you're going. Even if you don't use the ideas and information for this campaign, you may be able to use it later for a different campaign. You may even use it later at a different job. And that's okay. You don't want to lose the ideas and the energy that you get. Oh, this is so important. And as a geek diva, I cannot stress this enough. You want to build relationships with people. People do business with what? People. They do business with people. They don't do business with proposals. They don't do business with contracts. Those are tasks to help you get business, do business, solidify business. That's not how people do business. People do business with other people that they know, they like, they trust, who they meet. Yes, get off your phone, turn off your computer, put the tablet on mute. Go out, meet people, network, talk to them. It's a way that it's a great way to build relationships and again, help solidify the business that you want to do. It helps you understand the other person's point of view, their what? Perspective. And again, it helps the project all the way through. Now, yes, we do want to be flexible. Not quite this flexible, she's great, but we do want to be flexible. We need to understand that things change, people's change, needs change, the audience, consumers change, behavior changes. If things don't change, they die. So change is a good thing. This is why planning and writing things down is oh so important. Again, if you're moving down, if you're going around the Monopoly board, you're trucking along, getting it done, and you land on go to jail, go directly to jail, do not pass go, do not collect $200, your plan shall have some contingencies in it. So what if I do go to jail? How does this impact my next roll of the dice? How does this impact the money that I do or don't have? How will this impact my next few rolls and the properties that I land on? How will this impact the things I'm going to be able to do throughout the rest of the game? Again, planning helps you mitigate risks and helps you do a little bit of forecasting for what may or may not come down the road. But at least you've thought about it. it helps you anticipate, and it helps you to be ready for that all-important game. Uh-oh, we've got a bonus. Thank you, Cedric. That was good. Yes, find your niche or niche, however you say it. Hone in on your audience. Hone in on the people who will want and need and are willing to buy your product. I've worked with clients and I ask them, so who is your audience? And they say everybody. I really just want to hit them over the head, not with anything hard, one of those foam finger things. Because no, everybody isn't your audience. Unless you're one of the uber large multinationals like a Coca-Cola or a Google or something that is truly worldwide brand. No, everybody isn't your audience. For most people, your audience is within reach. They tend to be really small, comparatively speaking, and they're looking for you just as much as you're looking for them. So the plan, the strategy, the tactics, the communications, the listening, they are all designed to help you to find each other. And that's what you really want to focus on. Oh, so that's it for today, folks. I do want to let you know that we have a Twitter chat coming up next week on Wednesday, November 2nd. And we'll be talking about brand lessons learned from election season. So join us 2 p.m. on next Wednesday. You can follow at MCKPR on Twitter, or either look up our hashtag social justice chat and come hang out with us. It's going to be really fun and exciting. And so it is now time for the Q&A portion of the program. So I need everyone to place your tray tables in the upright position and hand your trash to the attendants as they make their final pass through the cabin. And don't forget to type your questions in the Q&A box. Now, because this is a redo, I am going to answer some of the Twitter questions that we had yesterday. And so as Cedric is pulling me up, I'm going to look through some of the questions that we had crowdsourced via Twitter. Oh, hi, everyone. First, again, what do you think is the difference between PR and marketing? In layman's terms, easy to understand, PR tends to be free and earned media. Marketing is paid for advertising. Earned media, if a journalist does a story about you, if you tweet and it's retweeted and it's shared or favorited. Facebook, if again a post is shared, pushed out, favorited, commented on a lot, that's all free PR, public relations. Marketing are going to be the sponsored tweets on Twitter, the Facebook advertising, anything that you pay money for, like newspaper, radio advertising, bus signs, metro ads, those kinds of things. Next question. How can you take time to personalize your offerings to different audiences? You have to. You have to make the time to find your audience and personalize the offerings to them specifically. Again, let's go back to Monopoly. You're trucking around the board, doing your thing, rolling the dice, moving your little dog or your shoe or your iron around the board, and everything's fine. You have enough money to buy a house on Marvin's Gardens, but the banker is trying to sell you a hotel on Park Place. You don't have the money for that. So guess what? The banker's not going to make that sale. So if the banker says, well, I can't give you a house on Marvin's Gardens, how about a house on Vermont Avenue? Now we're talking. Again, you really have to focus your offerings, focus your marketing, focus your ideas, your initiatives to your niche audience. Zero in on them. It's better to sell a lot to a few people than a little, than y'all know where I'm going with this. Just find your audience. Thank you. How can I prioritize which audience's needs are more important? Again, find the folks who are looking for you. As P.T. Barnum said, there's someone out there every day looking to buy what you have to sell. Yes, that was a paraphrase, not a direct quote. So find them, and they will buy your product. I'll go back to something I talk about all the time. Who needed to buy a rock in a box back in the 70s? Seriously, who needed to buy a rock in a box? Did they even know they wanted to buy a rock in a box? Nope, they didn't. But guess what? Pet rock was an instant fad, overnight success. The guys made a boatload of money, disappeared, and people ended up with rocks in boxes. Someone is out there looking for your product. You have to find them. Is there such a thing as a dumb question? No. Short answer. Longer answer is, this is where active listening comes in, because if you're paying attention, most of the time people will answer the questions that you have. Oh, I've got 3 minutes, so I'm going to talk really fast. Most times people will answer the questions that you have if you're listening and paying attention. And you want to make sure the questions you ask, though, while there's no such thing as a dumb question, you want to ask smart questions. You want to ask clarifying questions. So for instance, I ask Honey to take the trash out. She comes back to me and says, do you want me to take the trash out right now? That's a clarifying question. She comes back and says, do you want me to take just the kitchen trash or the trash from the bedrooms and the bathrooms? Again, that's a clarifying question. Those are good questions, they're smart questions, and they help her to better deliver on the expectations that I have. Okay, so that's it for us today, folks. Again, thank you for being patient, joining us again on our redo for this one. Really appreciate it. I'm Shannon Mouton Gray, Managing Director at McKinney & Associates. You can join us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, or SlideShare. We're posting good stuff all the time. You can also find us on the internet at www.mckpr.com, where you can sign up for our monthly newsletter. Thank you for joining us and have a great day.